That's wonderful. Yeah, you are someone, I've taken lessons with you.
You have.
I took flute lessons, I took voice. I'm going to be taking more voice lessons with you. And you're a very patient teacher.
Thank you.
You're a very kind and encouraging teacher.
Thank you.
You know, so you walk this wonderful fine line because you really, in one sense, I mean, you know, you strive for the highest, but somebody always feels comfortable with you. I always felt very comfortable with you.
Oh, that's good.
So anyone who feels that they have something that they want to develop in your voice, I couldn't personally recommend Lani more highly.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, you know something really interesting, and I loved working with you, by the way. Just, you are such a natural artist and came from a family of artists as well. And of course, that gives you a bit more of a foundation in your art and in your expression coming from that environment. They always say geniuses are not born, they're actually a product of their environment. And like you, even though you might feel like you're coming out with your art at a later time in life, those gifts were instilled within your character from when you're young by your parents. And again, that's a gift that you'll be able to take with you through your life.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. And you know, what's really interesting is I always tell you how much I love your speaking voice because you have this big, resonant, beautiful speaking voice. And you know, it's known in the industry, in the entertainment industry, if you can speak, you can sing, really, and then it's all a desire. And I love your speaking voice because it's just this nice, big, resonant sound, and when you come into a room, you just own it. And that really says a lot for me being a teacher, because what I do is I tune in to that natural, beautiful tone in your voice and connect you to that instrument. Something else that's really fascinating that people might not know is to become a master of an instrument, theoretically. People usually have to start at a young age, whether it's piano, violin, flute, guitar, any of your major instruments. But the voice, because you've been in contact with it your whole life, from the time you were just popped out of the womb, right? Those first sounds were coming out of your body and you were able to connect with the world around you by expressing yourself with that first cry. You are actually learning the fundamentals of how does that voice work. And because you were developing it from the time that you came into this world, it's something you've inherently been in contact with your whole life. So my point really is, to become a world-class singer, you can do it at any age because it's the only instrument that you've been in contact with and developing since you were born. Yeah. Other instruments are a little more foreign, so to develop them and become really masterful at a later age in life is a bit more challenging. And of course, the voice is the only instrument that you can take anywhere and everywhere, out on the beach, in the mountains, and even in the shower.
That's right, where people traditionally sing to their heart's content.
Yes.
So it's very encouraging. When you moved to Maui, you were wealthy, and you were married, and then a financial upset happened. I know you're forward-thinking. You don't dwell on the past, but I think it's good to hear somebody's backstory too. Share that story.
Well, thank you. And I think in the current economic situation, a lot of people out there can relate to losing their nest egg. In my case, I lost a small empire, something that I had worked years for, and had made some investments by people that were trusted advisors who I'd known for years, and those investments all went belly up because when I first came to Maui, I was semi-retired, just wanted to sing and play music, which I was doing, and then, of course, take the gifts that I had received and achieved and give them to the children of Hawaii, where they wouldn't have to go to LA and New York and train with the top teachers themselves, because a lot of people don't have the luxury of time or money. But you know, going back to your original question, and being older in life, right, when you're aging and losing your nest egg can really be emotionally devastating. And the way that I feel you can turn that situation around is being a forward thinker, not dwelling on the situation, right? Of course, you've got to give yourself some time to reflect on what happened and forgive those individuals that may have known or not been aware of what they were doing. And my mantra is let it go. Let it go, and then look at how you can rebuild. Because I feel that God gives us what He feels we need to become stronger and be able to relate to others in life and give them the gifts of wisdom and strength and being able to rebuild when it just seems like your world and walls have come crumbling down around you. And it's really life and business and music is art. Right? Life is a masterpiece. And really, we can only create the world and the life that we want one thought at a time. It's how we rethink our life and how we view ourselves. And we have to always be our best well-wisher and love ourselves so much that we give ourselves the strength and that inner voice. You know, we talk about the outer voice being a vocal coach, and I worked with actresses and actors and singers and a whole array of some really very talented people. But one of the most important things is that inner dialogue, that inner voice, that inner song. And how do we really approach that voice so that it gives us the tools and the nurturing and the support and the compassion and the empathy that we really need to have for ourselves, to give ourselves that environment, that soil, that nurturing, those nutrients to take our life to the next step, even when we have been in a crisis situation, when we basically have lost everything.
Yeah. Well, it's really important for people to hear because, you know, we all know the stories of people who maybe lost all of their money, like with the Madoff sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're jumping out of a window and not realizing that there's a difference between what you have and who you are. And you know, when I listen to you, I hear what you're saying. It's much more about who you are, so you can recreate yourself. So,
yes.
Okay, so you lost something, whether it's money or a relationship or whatever it might be, you can always recreate.
Yes, again, it's like an art piece.
Yep.
If an artist loses a masterpiece, then sure, there might be some time where he has allow himself to go through whatever emotional change he needs to really heal from that, to become whole again. But we also have to understand that there is no rationale that can give you the solace and the peace of mind if you take the wrong path. In other words, people that take their body, if we don't understand that that isn't a solution. I once read that people that annihilate the gift that God has given us, when we've hit those lowest points, and you know, no one's really free in life from hitting those lowest points.
Sure.
We're all in it together.
Absolutely.
And having a good network of people around you, loving relationships is really important, but it really has to start with you loving yourself. And it really starts with not what can others give me, but what can I share with them? Right? What can I give back to them? What gifts do I have? And really starting from ground zero and really make an analysis of our life to be able to be like the phoenix and arise out of the ashes. But that takes a kind of inner strength. And you know, a tool that I found that works for me is changing that inner voice. And a way that you can change that inner voice, I really like self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
Because it's your voice. You can take your voice. It's a real simple process. Get a tape recorder, some kind of a recording device.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful technique.
It is.
It's a wonderful technique.
It really is, and there's a lot of information on the internet about self-hypnosis. And then, of course, working with your own voice, being able to articulate, being able to infuse that enthusiasm into your own script when you're doing your self-hypnosis practice that gives you the hope and the enthusiasm and the charisma and the drive that you too can be the best that you can be.
Well, I also want to mention, something that's really important, that you're taking this and you're very much directing it. You love to teach children's voice lessons.
Yeah, I love
You
to work.
love to
yes.
work with children, and
Yes.
you really see it as a way to help them become strong, radiant beings.
Yes, exactly.
And you lead the Maui's Children Peace Choir.
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Which combines privileged and underprivileged kids.
Yeah.
And this is a big giving back that you're doing. And what do you see as the benefits of that?